All right, check this out. Uh, a chief operating officer, a COO. SharePoint is going to be your best friend. What a chief operating officer is the person who oversees all the operations. So there could be a CFO, right? For instance, a chief financial officer. But a chief financial officer oversees the finance stuff, like all of the finances, all of that's what's going on in that department, right? A COO, who's usually the second to the CEO, will oversee even the processes in that CFO's office because the COO is overseeing all of the operations across all of the departments. It's a tough thing to do because you have to understand how the processes work in each of these departments. Where, for instance, that CFO can get locked in on just the finances and their operations and their budget and their processes or whatever, all that stuff, right? So the COO, because you have to oversee all of the company's operations, I am letting you know right now that SharePoint is your best friend. Period. If you are paying for Microsoft 365, everything that you do, you then have to uh, uh, do it. You just without fail. My apologies. Um, you have to do it, right? But in doing it, that's the people side. Like your skills come in when you go do the thing. So you're great at developing processes or refining operations. That's where your brain power comes in, and that's what you could do. But after you do that, after you need to document it, after you need to share it, after you need to make it make sense to other people and put it somewhere and all this other stuff, this is SharePoint. SharePoint can do this for you uh, perfectly. Um, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this episode. What I did was I went and downloaded a chief operating officer's job announcement for a company. I never heard of the company before. I haven't even read through this description yet. And I'm going to do it here live on the show. I'm not going to edit anything out. I'm going to just keep it real. And I'm going to go down the line, and I guarantee the responsibilities of this person, I can find a way to use SharePoint for it, for them, I should say. Welcome to the SharePoint Help Desk podcast. I am your host, Thurman Trotman. Welcome back to my regular listeners. I know it's been a while, you know what I mean? Pardon me. I don't know why. Well, I can tell you why I keep falling off and doing this regularly. I'm very busy. But the thing about it is that I love doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like I love broadcasting. I love talking about SharePoint. I love talking about operations and processes and helping people out. So you just got to forgive me. You know what I'm saying? I'm busy. Maybe I could get somebody hired here soon in the future once, that time comes. And then I could just, do as many podcasts as I feel like. So yeah, in this episode, what I'm going to talk about is the responsibilities of a chief operating officer and how SharePoint can help them implement these things. So I'm looking at a job description it's called Latinx Talk Therapy. This was posted 4 weeks ago. This is early April. Posted 4 weeks ago, so let's just say early March. They're saying it's going to be 120,000 to 140,000, and it's full time. And I'll post this in the description. I'll post a link to this. Hopefully, it's still there on LinkedIn by the time you see this. So you get 120K to 140K for the position. It's full time, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me make this make sense. Here, let's just talk about them real quick. Let me tell you about Latinx Talk Therapy. They're a fast-growing mental health clinic dedicated to providing culturally competent, bilingual mental health services to the Latinx community. We are seeking a dynamic, innovative, and results-oriented chief operating officer, COO, to lead daily operations while driving the adoption of cutting-edge AI-powered tools and digital therapy solutions to scale our reach and impact. The executive leader will be instrumental in ensuring operational excellence, implementing technology-driven efficiencies, and spearheading the development of our digital mental health platform. All right, good deal. They got a platform that they use. They're saying they're going to be dealing with some cutting-edge AI-powered tools. That's what's up. And they're looking to ensure operational excellence. I like that. Now that makes me wonder what's going on there right now. Is there a COO that this person be replacing? and that COO is not doing well, or is the company kind of new and up and coming? They do say fast growing, so they probably are new. And you have to come in and get their operations under control because they don't even have a COO. So something to think about. All right, it says this is a rare opportunity to shape the future of culturally competent mental health care while working at the intersection of operations, technology, and community impact. So what I'm getting here is that um they are a mental health clinic, but they're bilingual. Key responsibilities. This is what I care about right here. We're going to go through key responsibilities. So it says operational excellence. That's the first section of the key responsibilities. So that's good. They're going to talk about what they mean by operational excellence. Oversee day-to-day clinic operations, ensuring seamless coordination between clinical, administrative, and client services teams. Okay. Anytime I hear teams and I hear, multiple groups of people when I hear teams, obviously, right? This means there's a set of people that need to be overseen. And immediately I'm thinking groups inside of the 365 suite. And then in those groups, I drop these people. So where's my pen at? Right here, a little pen I got for Christmas and all that. We have day-to-day clinical insurance between clinical, administrative, and client services teams. So that means I'm going to make a Microsoft 365 group. I might change this later, but this is where my mind is going. Microsoft 365 group for the clinical team, for the admin team, and for the client services team. All right. This is one of the things that I'll be doing. Because the whole organization works as a whole organization, but there's a reason why teams are created and divvied up. And I like to align my Microsoft 365 groups with the teams that are inside of my organization. So the next bullet under operational excellence says, foster a culture of efficiency, collaboration, and high performance. Can't quantify that just yet. It's fine. I get what they mean. They're using these words because they want somebody, of quality. Get it. Now there's a technology and digital innovation section. It says lead the adoption and integration of AI-powered clinical tools such as Deep-Scribe. Let me write that down real quick. Because I'm going to tell y'all why I do this. Deep-Scribe. Tessera, it looks like. Tessera. And client matching algorithms to enhance clinical efficiency and patient outcomes. Okay, so lead the adoption and integration of AI-powered clinical tools. These Deep-Scribe and Tessera. And then client matching algorithm to enhance clinical efficiency and patient outcomes. Okay, so I got these two programs, Deep-Scribe and Tessera, and it sounds like some other thing, client matching algorithms to enhance clinical efficiency and patient outcomes. Okay, cool. So if y'all have heard, this is your first time here, you would know that I tell everyone one of the first things you need to do when you step into a new role is create a site, create a SharePoint site. Because highly likely the person that was there before you, they didn't create one because they don't know about this. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a thing that you know about. You go into this new role, you create a site. What goes on the site? Each and every single thing that you are responsible for, like everything. I don't care what you're talking about and what it is. Everything that you're responsible for, it's going to go on this site. To begin with, this is just where we're going to corral everything. So I'm not telling you to create some email folder and stick all important emails in there. I'm not telling you to create a regular folder and stick all your files in there. I'm telling you, create a SharePoint site and put everything in there. That's what you're doing. So first of all, so far, I see that I know what 365 groups I'm going to have created. And maybe I don't have the power to do that as a COO. If I'm a COO, I might go to the IT folks or whoever's running the SharePoint, whoever's running the 365 suite, the admins, and I'm going to say, hey, is there a group for the clinical team, the admin team, and the client services team? No. Okay. Can you create them for me? Yes, no problem. Actually, that's a lie. They might not say yes, no problem. They might say kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't come up in and start telling us what to do. Or maybe you do because you're COO. But there's ways around this. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing up the site is because this thing says DeepScribe and Tessera. I'm going to create a site and I'm going to put DeepScribe on there and I'm going to put Tessera on there. Not the actual programs. That's not what I'm putting on there. What I'm putting on there is like a button that says DeepScribe. And then after I put that button that says DeepScribe, it's going to lead to a page on my site that explains what DeepScribe is, how we use it, what the goals are for it, who's my point of contact for it, because maybe I'm not in charge of DeepScribe, but I have a program manager that might be in charge of DeepScribe or something. I don't know. But all of the details for DeepScribe will go on this page, including one more thing, which is a button or a link that points to actual DeepScribe, the actual program that it'll take you to, and you'll go use. Same thing for Tessera. All right, let's keep it going. So the next one under technology and digital innovation says, collaborate with clinicians, engineers, and product specialists to design and launch digital therapy solutions, including subscription-based mental health services and bilingual AI-driven support tools. Okay. So collaborate with clinicians, engineers, and product specialists. That's no problem. I'll be collaborating to design and launch digital therapy solutions, including right here, subscription-based mental health services. And then the other one is bilingual AI-driven support tools. So I'm adding more to my site. For now, I'm just going to call this subscription-based mental health services. Subscription-based mental health services. On the site, I wouldn't list it out as that. I would just probably call this subscription services to keep the link short, if you will. But for right now, I'm going to call it subscription-based mental health services, because I just need to corral everything in one area. I'll sort it out later. The other thing is bilingual AI-driven support tools. So this one is, I'll say bilingual tools for now. Next bullet under technology and digital innovation, it says ensure digital solutions. Oh, wait, let me go back real quick. So this whole collaborate with clinicians, engineers, and product specialists to design and launch digital therapy solutions. You know what? Hold on. Let me put that under a section called digital therapy solutions. My handwriting is, thank goodness I typed. Digital therapy solutions, right? And it says collaborate with clinicians, engineers, and product specialists. This is too easy, because the way that I can begin the collaboration with these groups of folks is by having a central location. So when I'm dealing with a clinician or an engineer or a product specialist or whatever, and they're saying, hey, we need the details on, we're working on the subscription-based mental health services or whatever. I already have a section on my COO site that has all the details on this thing. And I can start listing who's my POC, who's my clinician POCs, my engineer POCs, points of contact, my engineer, my product specialist points of contact. That's going to all go on the subscription, on the digital therapy solutions page on my site. Everything having to do with digital therapy solutions. So far with digital therapy solutions, we have a subscription-based mental health service and bilingual AI-driven support tools. That's what we got so far. All right. And then lastly, the last bullet for technology and digital innovation says ensure digital solutions streamline clinic operations and enhance the patient experience without overburdening clinical staff. So all this tells me is that this is a goal. So this is one of the goals for digital therapy solutions. So if you come to my site, the COO site, and you see a section called Digital Therapy Solutions, and you see a button that says digital therapy solutions. You click it, you go to a page now and it says digital therapy solutions, and then you see our subscription based mental health services, our AI bilingual tools. Then you can also see what the mission of the subscription based or the mission of the digital therapy solutions. It is to ensure digital solutions streamline clinic operations and enhance the patient experience without overburdening the clinical staff. It's coming together. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now there's a section called strategic growth. Under strategic growth, you'll see the first bullet. It says develop and execute growth strategies that balance in-person service expansion with the scaling of digital mental health solutions. So what this tells me, you use the terminology in-person service expansion. That to me says leveling up your customer service, right? So in-person service expansion. So we're talking about when we're in person. Maybe, when I come to the counter, when a client comes to the counter, a potential patient comes to the counter and they're interacting with the person behind the counter, this now counts as in person. And then when we talk about service expansion, we're talking about like the way you serve them, the way the clinic serves them. How can we expand on that? How can we do better? You know what I'm saying? And it says strategies that balance in-person service expansion. So that means what I just described with the scaling of digital mental health solutions. So now we're talking about mental health solutions, but digital versions of it. How do we scale up those while also still balancing our in-person service expansion? So this is a strategy we need to keep our eye on. Scaling digital mental health solutions. Okay, cool. This will go right on my site. Yeah, when I'm talking about like the strategic vision or something like that, when you come to the COO site, one of the things you'll see is literally this bullet right here. I will just put this on here to let people know what we're doing. Like what if you work in this company, no matter what department you're in, what's part of our thing? What are we doing? How are we trying to grow the company? And one of them is how can we balance in-person service expansion while also scaling our digital mental health solutions? So they're probably talking about like where you can get like therapy over the phone, but also if you come in person, you can also get therapy in person, but we don't want one to be left behind. We don't want in person to be better than digital, and we don't want digital to be outpacing in person, because it says execute growth strategies that balance both of those things. All right. The second bullet under strategic growth is drive innovation in mental health delivery models, leveraging both operational efficiencies and digital platforms. So drive innovation. We can innovate. That's no problem. This is where being aware of this arena helps you out. Because how do you innovate in that arena? You have history in this arena, so you'll probably be coming up with some ideas. You should think about looking at other industries and how they do things, incorporating that. But pardon me, when people come to the COO site, one of the strategic goals, if you will be to drive innovation in mental health delivery models. So we want to innovate how we deliver mental health, leveraging both operational efficiencies and digital platforms. I don't think operational efficiency and digital platforms are separate. I think you can have operational efficiency on a digital platform. We can knock that out. You can have it on or off a digital platform. But that would be one of the strategic goals you see if you come to the COO site. And then if you click on it, you'll get way more details. Just saying a strategic goal is, we're going to drive innovation in mental health delivery models. Cool. But we need dates. We need, details. We need, all the things that surround a goal, something that actually makes sense. That's just a high level strategic vision, if you will. But then we put dates to goals and details to goals. All right. Now there's another section called financial leadership. The first bullet here is oversee budgeting, financial planning, and performance analysis. Too easy. You come to the COO site, there's going to be a button that says budget or finance, whatever. You click on that and you see everything you're allowed to see. You'll see, how much money we spent on this, how much is the budget for this. I don't know who's privy to this information, but here's what you can do. There's public information. When I say public, I mean public as your organization, people inside your organization. If there's 100 people total inside of your organization, public means all 100 people of those 100 people can see it. Not 100 people in the organization and then a bunch of people outside your organization. That's not what I mean. When I say public, I mean everybody in your organization. So they can see those public numbers. But then there can be a COO site that is restricted to only certain personnel. That restricted COO site allows you to put the sensitive numbers behind the scenes. I don't know if you even need that, but just know that you have that option. And from the COO site, you can click something that takes you to the restricted COO site. From the public COO site to the restricted COO site, you can have a button that takes you right there. But here's the cool thing about that button. You can restrict the button so that only people that have access to the restricted COO site, they're the only ones that can see the button, which to me is good practice because you don't want people seeing things, clicking on it, then getting denied access. Just don't show it to them to begin with. The next bullet under financial leadership is ensure technology and operational investments drive sustainable growth and positive ROI. Ensure technology and operational investments, okay, so where are we spending our money, drive sustainable growth and positive ROI. That's too easy. It's not a problem. The whole point of doing this piece is we'll do it and then we'll publicize it. So we can have the numbers running, and I like to use a SharePoint list, as you know. Everything that we're doing is sitting inside a SharePoint list. But let's say this. I'm going to be more realistic. The money being spent, I believe, would be tracked by maybe my CFO. My CFO has the information from across the organization about how much we're spending on what and all this other stuff, right? I might not have access to that money and how it goes, but I might have influence on how it gets spent, right? So what happens then is the CFO will have to provide me the reports. I won't have the reports myself to look at and manipulate. At least let's just say this is a likely thing. And the CFO ain't trying to give up, their work and whatever. So I say to the CFO, hey, listen, can you provide me with an export of the budget on a monthly basis? Just send me a spreadsheet. I don't want a spreadsheet, but I'll take a spreadsheet because I know highly likely this finance manager is using spreadsheets. So send me a stupid spreadsheet, right? Give it to me monthly. I'm going to take that spreadsheet. I'm going to put it inside of a library on my site, on the COO site. I'm going to drop it in there and I'm going to keep them stacking up, right? Then I'm going to create a Power BI report that is connected to this library, which has these reports in them, and build a report. So I combine the reports that the CFO is sending me every month. I connect them to Power BI. I then build a report, a visual in Power BI that shows me everything that's going on with these spreadsheets. And then I take that report and I embed it on the finance page, the budget page, if you will, of my COO site. So that's how I can publicize this bullet right here. Ensure technology and operational investments drive sustainable growth and positive ROI. That report can show the positive ROI, how much we're spending and what the positive ROI is. So I don't have the systems. CFO is touching the systems, but I can ask the CFO to send me the reports because I'm the COO and I'm in charge. You know what I'm saying? Send me the flipping reports, yo. All right. Vendor and partnership management. That's the next section. Evaluate, select, and manage relationships with AI vendors, health tech startups, and digital health partners. I love this. So on that site, my COO site, guess what I got? I have a stakeholders list. Everybody should have a stakeholder list. As a matter of fact, here on YouTube, I have how to build a stakeholder list or something like that. I have a video showing you how you can build a stakeholder list. This is an old school video, but the principles should roughly still be the same. Microsoft is constantly changing technology, but still, it should still work. So evaluate, select, and manage relationships with AI vendors, health tech startups, and digital health partners. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build my stakeholder list. It's a stakeholder list. You come to the COO site, you click stakeholders, and you'll see this list pop up. The list will have all the people that I'm building relationships with, but they'll say there'll be stakeholder types in there. And those stakeholder types will be AI vendor, health tech startup, digital health partners. Those are my types of stakeholders. And they'll all be listed there. Let's say it's from the time I get there, I'm already reaching out. I'm building. I got 200 contacts. You can go in there. Matter of fact, on the menu, let's say on the menu. All right, hold on. Let me make this make sense. The SharePoint list has all my stakeholders. It's 200 items long because I've been building it up since I got there, and I've been putting all the information on the list. But my list shows different types of stakeholders. I have AI vendors, health tech startups, and I have digital health partners, but they're all inside of the SharePoint list. Now, on my menu, on the navigation menu of my site, you're going to see a link that says stakeholders. Under the stakeholders, when you hover over a link, you can see like sublinks. So I'm going to give my stakeholders item, my navigation item, sublinks. My sublinks will say AI vendors, health tech startups, digital health partners. Those are the 3 sublinks. If you click on AI vendors, you will be taken to a view of the 200 long list that only shows 75 items because they're all tagged as AI vendors. That is a way you can use a SharePoint list. You don't have to create, like if it was a spreadsheet, you create tabs of different stakeholders or whatever. You don't got to do all that. With SharePoint, you can look at your list any which way you want, and then you get unique links to point to those sections of the list. So I would have a unique link that says AI vendors. When you point to this link, all you see is AI vendors. So that would be in my navigation. Too easy. The second bullet under vendor and partnership management, it says negotiate contracts and ensure seamless system integrations. Negotiate contracts and ensure seamless system integrations. All right, too easy. So I'll have a contracts section in my document library that will be on the site. Have a contract section, and I'll do my negotiation. Like, I guess where I could use the site here some more than just putting those documents in there is like, let's say, I don't know how big of a deal this is going to be with this position, but let's just say negotiating contracts is a pretty significant portion of my job. I would have something like a knowledge base on the site that talks about what's important to who I'm negotiating with, what can we offer as leverage, how to do negotiations, maybe some links to some books. I don't know, whatever. But all the things that can make you a better negotiator, knowing inside knowledge of the organization, as well as knowing how to negotiate, as well as learning more, using more tools to learn how to be a better negotiator. All these things are sitting on the site, not just for me, but for my person that's going to replace me eventually in the future. They'll have all this stuff at their fingertips. This is where Copilot might be able to come in here. In the future, you could have your Copilot set up and you'll say, hey, listen, I'm getting ready to have a meeting with this person who works here. Take a look at their company. All of my information and what we have. What are some talking points I can bring to this negotiation? What can give me leverage in this negotiation? Then here comes Copilot spitting out some good foolishness for you to use. You know what I'm saying? Love it. All right. Now we have a section called process automation and optimization. We're in the home stretch here. This section is the second to last section. So the first bullet in process automation and optimization, it says implement automation across clinical documentation. Ooh, okay. Implement automation across clinical documentation, billing, and client care workflows to reduce administrative burdens and improve efficiency. So implement automation across clinical documentation. Clinical documentation. Um, okay, so when you do documentation in a clinic, you're probably writing a whole lot of the same thing. How can we automate that? Right? Then there's billing and there's client care workflows. And the reason you're implementing this automation is to reduce administrative burdens and improve efficiency. So I would have to go in and evaluate what these systems are doing today, what technology they're using to do it. How can we make it faster? How can we eliminate various steps in the process? Whatever that is, all of it is getting documented. All of it. I would look at this and think we need a automation team. So an automation, what do they call it? CFT. So a cross-functional team to now start to study what we're doing with these clinical documentation, billing, and client care workflows. We need to automate these things. We need to make this process efficient and then also automate it. CEO, I need to spin up a cross-functional team. What's the deal with that? Can I do that? CEO says yes. I go, okay, cool. I go create a Microsoft team. I'm calling this Microsoft team automation domination or whatever. I create the team and then I invite all of the folks who are before I invite them, I'm sorry. I create the Microsoft team. This is where we're going to put our documents and where we're going to chat. But on the back end of that Microsoft team is a SharePoint site. On this SharePoint site, every single thing pertaining to this project will sit on this site. Who is on the project, any documentation that needs to be there, what the goals of the project is, what assets we need, whatever. All that stuff is going to sit on that project site specifically because that project is about automating the clinical documentation, the billing, and the client care workflows. Create that team. Update the site with all of the stuff. And then you know what I do with the link that points to that site? I put it on my COO site because my COO site might have a section called CFTs, cross-functional teams, or it might have a section called special projects, or it'll have a section called projects, whatever we call it. Me as a COO, I'll have that section and I'll be in charge of these teams doing these things. And under that section, I'll have a link that points to the SharePoint site that supports the Microsoft team that is handling automation domination. All right. And then the other bullet here is monitor performance and make data-driven improvements to streamline operations. Too easy. We monitor performance. We keeping track of everything. Make data-driven improvements. So we're making a task list to do all these things. Maybe we might need another Power BI report to visualize the stuff that we're doing. Streamline operations. The whole point is to streamline operations. All of this, everything can be tracked in the site. All of it. Last section, team leadership. Inspire and manage a high-performing team across clinical, administrative, and technical units. Okay, so who's my clinical program manager or managers? Who's the admin program manager or managers? And the technical units, how many do I have and who are the project managers there? I want to have meetings with them. Initial meetings with them and evaluate what's going right, what's going wrong. Then guess what I'm going to do? Record that meeting. Record all those meetings that I'm having. We'll call them initial review meetings, meet and greets, whatever you want to call it. First, I have a big meet and greet meeting. What's good? How y'all doing? I'm the COO. What's the deal? Whatever. Any questions for me? Okay, cool. Nothing. Next, at that meet and greet, I've now set up a bunch of individual program manager meetings so I can get a lay of the land, what's working, what's not working, what are your priorities, just down to third. I record those meetings. Take those and then put them inside of a section, again, on my COO site. There's a navigation link or a button or whatever that says initial reviews or meeting recordings or whatever you want to call them. I don't like meeting recordings because you could be recording anything. I'd rather name that initial program review. Okay, there we go. So what's that? IPR, initial program review. We can call them IPRs, whatever. You click on that, and what do you see? The goal of these IPRs is to establish blah, blah, blah. Then I see recordings. I see the script because, Microsoft Stream, Microsoft's video solution, records the video, gives you the transcript, does all of this, you know what I'm saying? Where you can just have it hosted, and now you go to that page. Matter of fact, you can create a playlist, embed the playlist on this page for, what is it called? For the IPR, for the initial process review. So that after 90 days or whatever it is, you have a new meeting, but before you have the meeting, you review, or maybe you monthly review that meeting to see what the plan is that you want to put in place for this program. You can go through that meeting as many times as you want, whatever. But the point is that when you go to the COO site, you will click a link that says initial process review meetings. And then you can click that and go to a page that shows you having a meeting, have the recordings for all the meetings you've done with every team. Or you could just have sublinks right underneath the link that says initial process reviews that points to each department. So finance, HR, whatever. And you'll go to the page and see the video recording and notes, whatever notes you took, and whatever tasks you have that you want to implement for this program, all on one page, right? So beautiful. And the last bullet is foster a culture of continuous improvement, collaboration, and professional development. Oh, I can have a professional development section. You know what I'm saying? Too easy. Now, I'm gonna try to recap. My handwriting is terrible, but I have now created my COO hub, if you will, the place that I would work from every single day as a new COO in this company. And guess what? With all of that done, I can now attend a staff meeting. When I attend a staff meeting, you know what I say? When somebody says, hey, what are you doing about this? What are you doing about that? I can say, yeah, I've just stood up the COO site. Everything that you need is there. And then I can give a briefing at the staff meeting that talks about what is available on the site and how it's being updated on a regular basis. So always come back. And if necessary, if anything new pops up, I'll be sending out links to people to make sure that they can get anything they need. I'm the COO. I'm at the top of the food chain. I'm just second in charge. So I control the ability for everybody to have everything that they need, like all the information that they need. And I'm going to put it in one location. The only site that should be trumping mine is the intranet, the main intranet. But off of the main intranet for the whole company should be a button that says COO or head of operations or whatever. And you click that and you go to the site that I've been talking about for this episode. I get to socialize that in the hallways. So I'm walking through the hallway. Somebody comes up to me and they say, hey, Thurman, Jimmy or whatever, my manager told me to come see you because the automation domination team is looking to add one more person from our department, HR. And I have some free time and I want to help this, that, and the third. And I go, okay, listen, go to the COO site. You'll see a button there that says automation domination, or it'll probably say projects. If you just go look on that section of the COO site, you'll see it. Make sure you join, introduce yourself, whatever. And that's one way. Or I could be like, all right, listen, always nickname your intranet. Don't call it SharePoint. Let's say for this company, Latinx Talk Therapy, maybe they call their intranet the Talk Therapy Lounge or the Talk Therapy, I guess Lounge. Go to the Talk Lounge or the Talk Therapy. I don't know, whatever. They'll nickname it. So when I see this person in the hallway, I can say, hey, oh yeah, just go search for automation domination on the site. You know what I mean? And in that way, they'll just find it very easily and they can bring themselves into the team. Let's say the team is restricted. Now I can send them to the site. I'll say, go to the COO site. You'll see a button that, because I made this up on my own, where you can request access to join the Automation Domination CFT. Just click that button, fill out the request, and then I will evaluate with the team to see if you're a good fit, whatever. The point is, we reduce the amount of emails, reduce the amount of documents, and work like normal people do on the internet. And what I mean by that is that you're normal people. When you go home from your job every day, you go use a phone, you go use your computer, your home computer, and you browse websites, you use social media, you do all these things that have centrally located information in one place. Your job should be no different. The reason why your job should be no different is because you have access to tools that allow you to do this. You can create a website, put everything that you need on the website, and then send people there. You can send everybody to the website, just like your bank does, just like LinkedIn does. LinkedIn is a site. They send everybody to LinkedIn. If you need something from LinkedIn, you go to LinkedIn. If you need something from the Latinx Talk Therapy, you go to the Talk Therapy Lounge, where everything is. Okay, that's all I got. Hopefully that was helpful. Listen, click on my Calendly link. Set up a meeting with me, and let's find out if you need a SharePoint site. I'm going to tell you right now that you do. So you just set the meeting up, and then when you talk to me, we'll talk the technical pieces. We can do that. But as you can see, I understand business and how you run your business and what's important in your business. That's how I can help you set your stuff up. There's no better thing to do than sit there and get yourself organized. And shortly after that, you'll have a new intranet that everyone in the organization will know to use, and you'll be 10 steps closer to everybody being more organized and working more efficiently, so that people are not pulling out old versions of documents from emails and all this other foolishness. So book a call with me. The link is in the description. Can't wait to talk to you and get you all squared up. My what do you call it? My testimonials through the roof. I can provide those if necessary, but you know what I mean? Just book a call. Let's have a chat. Let's get your site set up. I'll talk to you in the next episode.